if she has a bag of crisps, that bag of crisps will end up on the sofa.
But I'm not a perfect
Yeah,
parent. I've
actually written this in my notes. I think this is where we're quite weak.
But you had no idea, did you, how to do anything? You didn't know how to use a washing machine. You didn't know absolutely anything. So basically, somebody messaged in and they said, my husband makes the kids do daily chores, but it just results in arguments and adds to my daily stress. Our kids are 9 and 6. Is he expecting too much of them? I think he is.
So what do you think?
Okay, so I like the idea of daily chores. I do. I like the whole concept of it. I think that children should be encouraged to do chores around the house. But
why don't our kids do any then?
They do.
What ones?
Daisy, I make her bed, and it's dreadful, and I just want to redo it every time she does it. But she has to make her bed. Daisy has to keep her room tidy, her dressing table, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that I think with Daisy, that's one thing we've made her do. She does her bed, and that's
it's like a habit we've established.
And this is what I was going to bring up. That's one bit of the house that her room is quite
tidiest.
Probably the tidiest because we have kind of ingrained that into her, that kind of chore. But that's literally the only thing she does. Like I would say, that's the only chore that she actually does in the house. Like, if she has a bag of crisps, that bag of crisps will end up on the sofa every single time.
Yeah, I'm like, put it in the bin, Daisy.
Because we have
Ruby's better at doing that than her.
Yeah, I know. But I think I've been more forceful with Ruby to make her do that.
But the person that messaged in though, so their kids are 9 and 6. So I was thinking to myself, well, we've got a 9-year-old and we've got a 5-year-old because it's quite similar as well. But I was thinking to myself, if it's causing daily arguments and adding to daily stress, and she's taken the time to actually message in and say that her husband is doing, or if is the balance right? Is there some kind of compromise there? For example, like the teacher in me is screaming, well, maybe the kids need some kind of chart if they want to do chores every day so that they know what's expected of them. I think it's the situation in which you present the chores. If you just suddenly turn around to the kids and say, right, you hoover, you go and clean the bathroom and I want you to spray the windows, then you're kind of off the back foot there. But if they know each day, in an ideal world, if I was a better parent than what I am, but I'm not a perfect parent.
Yeah, I've actually written this in my notes. I think this is where we're quite weak. Not weak, but we could be a bit better as parents. I think we could definitely get them to do slightly more stuff around the house.
Yeah, but I think if I was going to suddenly introduce that, like you just turning around and barking orders at them and making them do stuff, that would cause kind of friction and change the ambience of the house, if do you know what I mean? Because let's be honest, I doubt, unless it's Ruby cleaning the windows and using the spray on the mirrors, she loves to do that. Then I don't know.
I would also make the chores quite really small tasks. So rather than go right to Ruby, who's nearly 6, right, you've got to keep your room spotless. When someone comes around, you've got to tidy it all. That's way too overwhelming. But at least if you say to her, right, okay, so the Barbie stuff has got to be back in the Barbie bit and the dressing up's got to be in the dressing up bit, that would be the majority of the mess she would create in her room. Like I went in there, that room was okay a couple of days ago, and she had a friend round for, an hour? And yes, this morning I'm just like, what has happened here? And I think if we could be a bit more... give her a couple more responsibilities in her bedroom, like she's got to keep certain bits of it tidy,
Can I ask you a question?
Go on.
I think I'm going to know the answer. How am I going to...
This ain't going to be nice, is it?
No. Did you do chores as a child?
No. But do I think that was detrimental to me? Yeah, I do.
Yeah, because... I'm just going to go for it. I don't care. Yeah, no, we're fine. We love each other, really. So when I first got with you, Dean, I remember thinking to myself, oh, my God. Literally, I remember going in the kitchen and we were going to make some food. And I remember you didn't know how to make... I'm talking, guys, he was in his early 20s here, right? He didn't know how to make scrambled egg. He asked me, how do you make scrambled egg? You asked me once how to make mashed potato, and I remember these things because I remember thinking, surely he can't be serious. But you had no idea, did you, how to do anything. You didn't know how to use a washing machine. you didn't know absolutely anything, did you?
That's exactly my point now. I was never made to do, and like I love my mum and dad, had a great upbringing, but they did everything for me. Like they tidied my room. My mum, even when I was like 18, would bring my work clothes and put them on my bed and stuff. Like they done everything for me. And I think in the long run, I'm okay now. But in the
Yeah.
long run, my early 20s, I couldn't do nothing.
I mean, you're lucky I fell in love with you because Jesus, like I was basically your mum for a little bit of those first few years while I was trying to train you.
No, I know.
But had you been made to do chores, you could have probably been a little bit more desirable to me. I'm not going to lie.
Exactly. So that's why that's exactly my point. So I do believe, and I think this good thing to write in because it's made me actually think about it.
It's made me think about it. I definitely, when I saw it, I was like, oh, that sparked something in my brain here. You know, even giving them 1 or 2 tasks a day to do, or even just 1 or 2 at the weekend, or just something, and you start building on it.
Or just a responsibility. You just say
Yeah.
like this bit, like this part of your room, you keep tidy or whatever. Just like a responsibility, rather than go do that. It's more like no, you're responsible for that. Make them have ownership of it.
Do you know what I find really hard though, as
Go on.
well, is giving them ownership of something. And I just think in my head, I do it a bit with you as well when you
No,
do
I know,
stuff.
but you
And I'll think,
need to
hold on, I haven't finished
Go on,
yet.
sorry.
And I'll think, and I think I just should have done that because I'd have done it better. Like when she makes her bed, I'm like, oh God, that looks rubbish. And like when you say, oh yeah, I've cleaned the kitchen, and then I go in there and I look at it and I'm like, where? It's still dirty.
But that's not the point of the chore. That's not the point of getting them to do. The point of the chore is not going in there and going, oh my God, Daisy, your bed looks amazing. That's not the point of making them do it. The point of making them do it is to get them used to doing stuff for themselves.
Can you have a little section on the chores chart as well? I'll have Daisy age 9, Ruby age 5, and then Dean age 38.
Do you know what you need to take responsible for? And this
go.
drives me nuts.
Oh,
Like
God.
she's got this corner of our bedroom with all her like makeup and no, let me finish. Makeup and blow hair dryer, all that crap. And literally every single couple of days, I'll like untangle the hair dryer, put them back in the corner. I think I'll make it that tidy. 24 hours later, everything's just everywhere.
Because I have, like you said, I have a tiny corner for all my makeup, all my hair products, everything I have, all my beauty stuff. I have a little, like when I say corner, I feel like I need to take a picture of this. It's like one little basket that I have to cram everything into. And then when I'm getting ready for work in the morning, it's like 6:15 in the morning and I'm trying to like straighten my hair without waking anyone up and I'm trying to put my makeup on. So yeah, I'm not going to put my straighteners away while they're still hot. I'm not going to do that. And everyone's asleep, so I just kind of leave it and then sneak out the room. I do leave it in a mess. Get me a dressing table. Get me a bigger house and get me a dressing table. Even better, get me one of those rooms that people have.
If you had a bigger dressing table and a bigger house, you'd have a bigger pile of mess. That's how that would work because you have not got the habit of tidying that. Look, you're tidying in some ways, but with that corner of the room, you just either don't see it or don't care or whatever.
I don't think I care.
No. Because I get back and I do it. And it's like,
thank you.
No. So anyway.
Do you know what I'm going to do?
We've massively gone off track
I'm going to pop down to the shop and I'll get you a nice little trophy to say, oh, well done, Dean. You tidy my hair stuff away for me. Get me a trophy for everything I do in the house. I'd fill a cabinet.
I don't think so.
Oh, fuck off.
So what is the verdict? Should we...
I think it depends, for me, on the scenario with that husband and wife. I think that if he's just thrusting the chores on the children and that's what's causing the drama and the kind of like, no, don't do it, or there's too many, then I think they need to come to a compromise or maybe like sit down as a family and just agree what's going to happen. I think that would be easier for everyone. Because I can imagine in our house, if I just suddenly turn around to Daisy and said, right, you need to go and hoover this and I want you to go and clean that, she'd probably be like, oh, she'd probably be the same.
Do you not think like a change in behaviour is stressful at the start though? So like you're trying to get them to do chores or responsibilities or whatever. The initial first few weeks or couple of months, it probably is going to be stressful because it's a new habit they're trying to learn. It's harder for them to want to do it. They're coming home from school a bit tired. They're not used to it. So after a couple of months, you probably get this peak of stressfulness, and then it will actually make your life easier in the long run. Like if I got home and they were a little bit tidier, i.e. they just put a few bits in the bin and tidied little bits, it would make our lives so much easier from that initial stress that we had to go through. So it might be that. It might be just they're early in the game. They might be just, and give it a 2 or 3 months of it, it might sort of make their lives easier. So I think, depending, he's more in the right. I would like to get my kids to do more chores, absolutely. And it's that message has made me think about it big time.
Yeah, it's made me think about it too. I wonder if you're listening, if your child does chores, and if they are, how old they are. Let us know.